Hey, I'm back, and today I want to talk about something that's been trending all over the world, and that is sushi burgers. If you don't know, lots of people have been into this new sushi burger trend where people take sushi and they make it look like a hamburger. So I've tried to make this myself, and today I'm going to show you how. A lot of people have been making these and they look really good, and that's great, but one problem is when you make them and they look good, oftentimes when you eat them they fall apart. And that's not so good. Or you have to maybe cut it up with a knife and fork and eat it, but who wants to eat sushi with a knife and fork? It's ridiculous. So today, what I want to show you is how you can make a sushi burger that tastes good and doesn't fall apart. Before we start, you're going to need a few things. So make sure you have all of these and we'll get to it. Okay, I hope you have everything. You have your rice. Hopefully this is Japanese rice. It's not like brown rice or Thai rice, because that's not going to work as well. You have fresh salmon. If you live in Japan, this is called like sashimi salmon, like used for sashimi. You can see it written on the pack. You have avocado sliced. You have your soy sauce, if you like soy sauce. And you have your rice vinegar mixed with sugar and salt. So if you have all those things, mix those together and stir them well. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some of this and pour it on the rice. If you're not sure how much you want, only pour half of it at first and mix it and then add more later. If you know you like this, you can add all of it. Do whatever you like. I'm going to put a good bit in there. And don't just let it sit there. As soon as you pour this, start mixing it. I was told not to kind of like mash it together, but kind of slice like this through the rice and then go back and forth. And then every once in a while, you want to turn it over. What you don't want is you don't want a bunch of sticky and soggy rice. That's going to be terrible. So just do this and keep mixing it until you feel it's mixed well and also it doesn't appear wet. Now it should be mixed thoroughly. If you taste it, it should taste better. It should have that familiar sushi rice taste. You don't have to add that if you don't want to, but I think it makes it taste much better. So do that as you want. Make sure you stir it thoroughly. You don't want it to be wet. I know you may not think it makes a difference, but Japanese people will get really angry if you don't do this cutting motion. They don't like their rice being mashed too much. Also, if it's too wet, it's not going to stick together well, so it might take some time for you to, slice it and flip it, but it's worth it. Now that we've done that, you see here I have a bowl. You can use any bowl, just don't use one that's too big, and take that plastic wrap and put that inside. Now, take some of your rice and put it in there. We don't want to use too much, because if you use too much, like I said, your sushi burger is going to fall apart. The biggest problem I had when it came to making these sushi burgers were when you take a bite out of it, it just completely disintegrates and it falls apart in your hand. So we're going to try to do something to stop that from happening. So, once you have it in here like this, take the plastic, fold it over, and mash it down into the bowl. Like this. Now, once you have that, open up the plastic and take out some foil, like this. I'm putting it on the table, but really, this should probably go in your oven. So, take this out, plastic, take that plastic off, and flip it over. There we go, there's one of our buns. Now we just do the same thing again with the second one until you have as many as you want or need. Now as you can see here, I have 4 different patties here. From here you have 4 patties, and you can just take your avocado or salmon and put it on there and you're done. But as I said before, the problem with this is if you try to pick it up like an actual hamburger, it's going to fall apart as soon as you bite it. So to combat that, what we're going to do is we're actually going to grill this. So if you have an oven, I want you to take this and put it in the oven. I did it at 270 degrees for between 10 and 15 minutes. Now check on it as you want. You don't want it to be completely black and burned, but you do want it to be a nice golden brown at the top. And if there's a little bit of black around the sides, it's okay. But what that will do is it will make it hard on the outside, so that way when you bite into it, it'll be a little bit crispy and it won't fall apart. This is similar to yaki onigiri, so if you've ever had that, you'll know what it tastes like. So just do that, put it in your oven, and we'll come back in a second. So here are 2 patties I made earlier. So as you can see on the outside, they're crispy and golden brown, and there's a little bit of burning on the outside. The other side, not too burnt, and you can see they're fairly thin. As I said, you don't want to make them too thick because they're going to fall apart. But now that I have them, I'll use this one as the bottom bun. I'll just take a little piece of avocado. Maybe I'll take 3 pieces of that, put it on there. Now, have my salmon. I'll put a few pieces of this on there. Maybe that's too much, I'll take that off. And I have my soy sauce here. I like soy sauce. If you don't like that, don't put it on there. Just put a few drops of it on here. Okay, that's more than a few drops, but put as much as you like on there. And now, I put the top on it. You can make this thicker or thinner if you want, but as I said, the thicker you make it, just like a real hamburger, the more likely it is to fall apart. And, secret, I'm going to take this, which is tobiko. I don't know how available this is in other countries, but it's just some type of fish eggs. It's smaller than ikura, but you can put this, and I like to sprinkle this on the top here, like this. You can put as much or as little of this on there as you want. Ugh. And it gets stuck all over your fingers, but that's okay. So, there you go. Basically, you're done. As I said before, if you want to use a different type of fish or you don't want to use avocado, you can use whatever you want. You might also want to put seaweed in there as a filler. And although I made this a little bit thinner because I didn't want it to fall apart, you can make it slightly thicker, but like I said, don't go crazy. And that's it. Hopefully now you have a sushi burger that won't fall apart, that will taste good, and hopefully this wasn't too difficult for you to make. Okay, there you go. So hopefully that gives you an idea on how to make a sushi burger. You can add or subtract ingredients, you can change the type of fish. You don't even have to put it in the oven and roast it. I did it that way because it doesn't fall apart as easily when you're eating it, but if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. And if you don't, it's much easier to make it look more beautiful, but like I said, it's up to you. Please, in the comments, let me know how it goes. Hopefully you enjoy this, and until next time, see you. If you enjoyed that video, subscribe. Also, feel free to comment down below and check out some of my other videos here. Or is it here?